www.underwear.com, and today I'm going to show you my underwear. Yep, I feel 3 videos in, we've reached that moment. Yeah. So, look, technically I've not worn these, and I'm not going to wear these. And yeah, they're not the most exciting undies in the world, but you know what they are? They are comfortable. Well, in theory. These are basically the things that have inspired me to finally get over my fear of knit fabrics and do something. And that something is going to be to make my own undies, because I dislike shopping at the best of times. And I particularly dislike shopping for underwear. I never quite knew what the problem was until I started sewing. And the problem is, most of my height is in my torso. So I have a really long body, quite short legs. And that means that underwear that's supposed to sit high on a normal person kind of doesn't on me. So I've decided that's it. I'm sick of underwear that sits in the wrong places, that goes uninvited to other places, if you catch my drift. And I'm going to make my own. I haven't made any yet, but I have made some preparations. And I finally decided I have a use for this gorgeous, gorgeous little sewing box that I bought from a second-hand shop. Surprise, surprise. I'm keeping my underwear accessories in here. This is the cutest box. I will do some shots so you can be looking at it instead of just accepting my word for it. So I have lots of bits and bobs. Obviously I had to get ballpoint needles. We have this, for example, which is described as, I think they called it lacy elastic or lace elastic. We all know what it's called. Yeah, not pico elastic, knicker elastic. Knicker elastic. This super cute yellow one that I think I got from my mum. She gave me a little tin of haberdashery and bits and bobs that she found also in secondhand shops. And I know she definitely gave me these buttons. I have another one as well, but how well do they go together for a little detail and pair of self-made undies? Yep, perfect. I will also need some fabric, obviously, and this is where being like an absolute amateur and having no idea what I'm doing and also ordering online can be a bit of a downfall, because I have this, which is, it's jersey fabric, but it doesn't have much of a stretch. So I don't know if that's going to work for underwear. It's also really stiff and it smells terrible, so hopefully that will come up better after a wash. But this one I absolutely love. It's all crazy stripes and yes, matching yellow. And it's a really wide piece of fabric, and I have a meter of it, so it'll make about 50 pairs of underwear from my rough estimation at this stage. Those are the fabrics that I'm hoping to use. What I now need is, I don't know, a pattern? I think that might come in handy. And as it turns out, I actually have quite a few patterns and books on sewing lingerie and stretch fabrics. So thank goodness I just see them in second-hand shops and say, yeah, that could come in handy one day, because today is the day. Well, not today, the day I start sewing. So first of all, I have Singer's book on sewing lingerie. There's a whole series of these books. I have quite a few. So that has some, I don't believe it has patterns, but it does have instructions on what to do with the patterns you bring to it yourself. I have this Knitwit pattern. You find these almost in every second-hand shop you step into. This one I found in a giant tub this long that was just full of them. But this is actually, you can see it's sort of more satiny, so woven rather than knit. But then that might work for the jersey that's not quite as stretchy as I was hoping it would be. Oops. This is Quixo's beautiful lingerie, and please do enjoy the soft focus and gentle glow. It does actually tell you how to make underwear, and it has all the patterns in the back to trace. So possibly be using one of those. And this final one is actually a bikini, so that's not happening. That's just not happening. But I thought the bikini bottoms there looked like a sort of good shape for underwear. And it's from a brand called Bev Knits, which I had not heard about until I literally found this a year or so ago in a second-hand shop. And I thought, because I'm going to do a video about it, I would do a bit of research on Bev Knits, and I found out that it was started by a lady called Beverly Sharp, which it also says on this pattern. And she was so excited about stretch fabrics and the way it eliminated the needs for things like darts and proper fitting, and she wanted to share the excitement of sewing with people who could now do it much more quickly. In fact, there's a little poem down the bottom here. So, Bev Knit patterns, quick to sew, run it up and out you go. So the idea was that you can make things really quickly and for everyone in your family. While I was researching Bev Knits and what it was all about, I heard about a book that she had written called Space Age Sewing, and literally the day after I heard about it, I happened to be in an Etsy shop and there it was for $7. It somehow accidentally ended up in my cart, and then thanks to the magic of Etsy saving my credit card details, it ended up on my letterbox a couple of days ago, and I do mean on my letterbox. And that's when my camera randomly stopped recording and I didn't find out about it until quite some time later. I believe it rudely interrupted me in the middle of a very exciting story about how the book I ordered was so well packaged, our weirdo postie literally couldn't scrunch it up to put it in a letterbox, which is their preferred method of delivery, and instead went with their second favourite, which is to just leave it sitting on top of the letterbox. Thankfully, it wasn't windy or rainy, it made it inside safely, and it looks a little like this footage I recorded earlier. It's a fantastic little book. It's the 1977 edition of it, which I believe is the first time it was reprinted. And it's scattered with notes from the original owner all throughout it, which is really, it's delightful because I know someone's used the book to make things, but also they're handy tips that I can put into practice as I'm going along, hopefully. But as it turns out, this sort of interruption was a bit of a blessing in disguise because there have been developments. That's right, a breaking news. Basically I decided that the less stretchy jersey would look great as a little skirt. Well, not that little, a skirt. As a result, I went searching for all the stretch fabric patterns, and I do have quite a few despite the fact that I've never sewn with stretch fabrics before, and that's when I discovered I actually have an underwear pattern. Okay, I'm not crazy. It's not like I go around and forget what I've bought. My husband actually bought this. He went to a secondhand shop without me, which is pretty much against our rules, but he promised he would bring me back something, so he brought me this. I'm excited to make underwear. Probably would sound strange to other people, so I'm glad I'm talking to fellow sewers. I am still a little scared about knit fabric, and I know it's ridiculous to be scared of a fabric, but I also know I'm not the only one, so that's giving me a bit of confidence. And now I'd like to turn it over to you, especially if you have any tips or advice when sewing with stretch fabrics or making your own underwear. That would be incredibly helpful to me. And if you're like me and you're just starting off on an underwear journey of discovery, just pop down there, not under my table obviously, in the comment box, and just leave me a message and we can have a chat about sewing, which is quite normal, and possibly chat about underwear, which is probably less normal, but it's the internet, should be right. That's all from me for this video, and apparently from Missy as well. We'll be back again next week with another video, and in the meantime, happy knitting and sewing. I hope you're having a lot of fun creating exciting and wonderful things, and I'll see you again soon. Bye!